Kippur over here. Once again, using excellent notes from by Yonatan Naxon from the Orthodox Union website. And we're going to explore what is like the code of conduct to do on Yom Kippur night in of itself, respectively, on daytime, within regards to different prayers, different tefillot. And we're looking at it from a Sephardic lens. North African communities, let's just say Asian countries, how would they practice it, so on and so forth. That's what we're going to be exploring today in today's special edition section over here. So we're going to look, he's given a lot of sources also to much of what we can discuss about, which I recommend everyone to look into. Okay, the first thing we're talking about, Yom Kippur night. That's first prayer on the Yom Kippur itself, seemingly. Now, Kol Nidrei, it's going to be Kol Nidrei, remember the words. It is customary to put on a talit before Kol Nidrei. If it is still daytime, one should recite a blessing when putting the talit on. That's the first piece of information. I think the Brad Vaz will bring this down, and Chazon Ovadia and various other places. So that's interesting. It's preferable to recite Kol Nidrei before Shkia. If one sees that most of the congregation has not yet arrived, then better to wait for them to come rather than recite Kol Nidrei before Shkia. That's what's reported here. Source number 2, I think the Moed L'chol Chai and the Kadosh Betzion will actually bring that down. Now, before Kol Nidrei, many congregations are accustomed to sell the kibud of Petichat HaHeichal and other honors that pertain to the tefillot of Yom Kippur. This custom is certainly permitted, and one should try to buy these honors, even if they are expensive, especially if the money will go to people who study Torah over here. So that's source number 3 over here. We have to see the Sha'ar HaKavanot, which is in page 100 Aleph over here. I think which actually can talk about quoting the name of the famous Arizal, that one should especially try to buy the kibud of holding the first Sefer Torah during Kol Nidrei, speaking about the importance. There's apparently it's seen as a special tikkun for, God forbid, the sin of spilling seed over here. That's one thing that I think that's brought down, if I'm not mistaken. But other people, other great rabbis will also give various different importances with regards to that. Okay, the next. Okay, so some, as we said before, will have the custom to take out only one Sefer Torah for Kol Nidrei. Some communities take out 3 Sefer Torah. Some take out 7. Others take out all of the Sefer Torah they have. One can still recite Kol Nidrei even if there's no Sefer Torah. That's what's said over here. I think Yaakov Yosef and Yomim Noraim, page 782, will bring this down respectively. So that's important also to point out. Anyone that's tuning in, we are learning about what's the code of conduct with regards to prayers time period on the Yom Kippur festival itself, let's say the longest fast along with Tisha B'Av of the Jewish calendar cycle over here. That's what we're speaking about today. Okay, one should not use a Sefer Torah that is, let's say, invalidated for Kol Nidrei. That's brought down, I think, by Moed L'chol Chai and the Kab Chaim also, respectively. The one who holds a Sefer Torah of Kol Nidrei merits forgiveness for several sins. So you see the importance within regards to that. I think the Kadosh Betzion is going to talk about that in page 201. And he brings several sugulot that are stated about holding the Sefer Torah of Kol Nidrei, including forgiveness of sin of Zera Levatala, not keeping one's Nidarim and Shavuot, and also Segula to be granted to understand the Torah properly. That's what's reported over. Okay, one should put both hands on the Sefer Torah and kiss it when it passes by other, let's say, by after reciting Kol Nidrei. There are several Kabbalistic reasons for doing so reported over, and I think that's brought down in the Kadosh Betzion, page 227, also respectively. Over there. Okay. Before Kol Nidrei, one should verbally express regret for any sins that he may have done. This can also be accomplished by reciting the piyut of Lecha Eli. It's a famous song, which many of you will be familiar with, especially Sephardim. And this is in order to satisfy the opinion of the Ramban, who says that one must recite the vidui right before Yom Kippur begins. I think the Melechet Shlomo in Amar is going to bring that down. Okay, each person should recite Kol Nidre along with the Chazan, uniformly, seemingly. Some congregations have the custom that the rabbi recites the bracha or shechianu for the congregation. In such case, one should not answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema when listening to the bracha. However, some congregations have the custom that everyone present recites his own shechianu because of one reciting it out loud may not know to have the congregation in mind when reciting the bracha. Now, crying on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, one should try to cry while praying. If one cannot bring himself to cry, he should try to pray with a tone of crying and anguish. Over here, I think that is actually brought down over here, source number 12, from the Morei Ba'etzba and the Ben Ish Chai, also in Parshat Vayelech, also respectively. Okay, now we're talking about Kabbalat Shabbat. Say if Yom Kippur falls out on Shabbat, obviously it's not on this year. So when Yom Kippur is on Shabbat, the regular Kabbalat Shabbat is skipped. Only Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbat is recited. Now, even when Yom Kippur is on Shabbat, V'hu Rachum is recited over here. That I think we have to see the Sefer Chazon Avadia on Yomim Noraim in connection to that. If Yom Kippur is on Shabbat, one should have in mind that he's also fulfilling the obligation of reciting Kiddush when reciting Mekadesh Shabbat while praying the Amida. Okay, Baruch Shem Kavod. Now, during obviously Kriyat Shema, the verse Baruch Shem Kavod Machoto Leolam Ba'ed is recited out loud over here. Now, there's a major source over here. The Torah and Shulchan Aruch will bring this down. Also, the Chaim, I believe, states that only the Chazan recites it out loud. However, Moed Lechol Chai in 1918 implies that everyone may recite it out loud. So, very important halacha over there. Okay, people standing next to the Chazan. It's customary for two people to stand next to the Chazan when slichot are recited during Tefillot throughout Yom Kippur. The source for this is Shulchan Aruch 619, number 4. So that it's seen very much as a key, just a key figure, let's just say, within regards to this respectively over there. After the prayers, after completing the prayers on Yom Kippur night, that's naturally, one should try to recite Tehillim until going to sleep. So you can see that's the biggest segula over here to recite the Psalms. Over here, I think that's brought down in Moreh Ba'etzva in 274 and the Moed Lechol Chai also in 1715, respectively. It's praiseworthy to learn the Mishnayot from Masechet Yoma. Naturally, that's pertaining to Yom Kippur service. One should not remain awake too late, since it is better to have strength for praying rather than staying up and learning. It's reported here. Obviously, if someone can do everything, then perfect, to be staying up, I would assume, and really toil in the Torah as much as possible and to the day of itself. But seemingly the author here is taking in mind the effects it could have on the prayers the next day. So Mishnah Berurah in 619, number 14, would bring that about, or would mention it. Kriyat Shema Alamita is recited as usual, but one skips Tachnun, since one already recited Tachnun when praying Arbit. Now the Shacharit service, okay. One should not wake up too early, since he might not be able to concentrate during Tefillah. So obviously if someone's davening in Netz Minyan, then one should get up early, but we're assuming here maybe the Minyan's not necessarily in Netz. Maybe talking about waking up like too early. Moed Lechol Chai, once again, will speak about this in its section. The Chazan should try to minimize the amount of singing when praying Shacharit, so that Musaf should be prayed before the 7th hour of the day. That's what's reported over here. Shulchan Aruch in 620, number 1, will speak about that. So that's very, very important. During the Chazarat Hashatz, the Chazan recites the Bidui. According to Sephardi custom, there is no obligation to recite the Bidui along with the Chazan, but if one does, he's obligated to stand while doing so. The Kohanim should remove their shoes before reciting Birkat Kohanim, even though they are not wearing leather shoes. It's brought down, I think, the source 25 from the Chazon Ovadia. Yamim Noraim, page 345, also Yechevei Dat, I believe, will speak about this. Now, after Chazarat Hashatz, Avinu Malkeinu is recited when Yom Kippur is on Shabbat. Shulchan Aruch, once again, on 622, number 3, would speak about that. Now, the Kriyat Torah, one who is sick and must eat on Yom Kippur, must still receive an aliyah. That's what's reported over here. It's aliyah. And then Chazon Vadi in Yamim Noraim, page 349, explains that one who is not fasting may receive an aliyah Torah, since a portion of Kriyat Torah for Yom Kippur is for the honor of the day and not for the fast itself, unlike other fast days. If there's a Brit Milah on Yom Kippur, it should be performed after Kriyat Torah and before Musaf. That's the time period there. I'm just going back one over here. Even though it is permissible to add extra aliyot, it's preferable to refrain from doing so, in order to save time and pray Musaf before the 7th hour. So the importance of praying Musaf before the 7th hour is very, very important. Now, let's talk about Musaf here. During the Chazarat of Musaf, there's a custom to kneel on the floor and bow when reciting Shehayu, Korim, or Mishtachavim. One may not kneel and bow on stone floor and should place a carpet, towel, or even one's tallit between one's knees and face and the floor when bowing. Over here, the source is number 30. Moed L'chol Chai, 19, number 80, and also Chazon Vadi will bring this down. Very interesting. If one finishes praying Musaf and needs to sit to rest, he may do so even if there is someone praying behind him, especially if the person praying behind him is covering his face with his talit. Similarly, one may take 3 steps back to the side if there is someone praying directly behind him, so that he may recite Osa Shalom and sit down over there. Now, we're going to do one last one and call it a day over here. It says, if there is a time after completing Musaf, one should learn until Mincha, especially praiseworthy to learn about the Tanat Rabbi Akiva, who was killed in Yom Kippur, and also read the prophecy of Yechezkel, chapters 40 to 43, about the third Bet HaMikdash. Okay, friends, we're going to leave it over here. We're going to try and finish it tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, before Yom Kippur. So wishing, and maybe talk a bit more about Yom Kippur also. So wishing you all a Gemar Chatima Tova. This is a part 1 about Tefillot on Yom Kippur over here. Now, friends, just asking you all a favor, please subscribe to the channel. We're nearing 7,500 subscribers, which is an absolute phenomenal achievement. Please, if you feel anyone is interested in watching these videos, please share these videos to other people. We don't just record videos of halakha, current halakha, what we're learning about in itself respectively. We also record videos about great rabbis, right? Rabbi biography videos we do here on this channel. And we also record videos on the Parashat Shavua, on the Hebrew months. We concentrate on, we do tours all over Israel. We try and tour around and look at this beautiful country of Israel. That's the target that we are doing, which I recommend everyone to look into. And we do so much more. So it's the importance of spreading Torah. For Am Yisrael, we explore the laws of Yom Kippur. So wishing Gemar Chatzima Tova. Thank you for watching. Take care.